All right, y'all, today I'm trying out something new. I'm trying out an air jack. This is an exhaust operated off-road jack. One of the things that we run into on our tours out on the trail is when we need to change a tire. Sometimes it's in an off-camera position and it's just really crazy and wonky, and we've tried several jacks. And sometimes the jacks want to fall over or we can't get them in right. So the jacks aren't necessarily working out 100% out, kind of in the middle of nowhere in an off-road situation. So I thought I would try this thing. One of our guides noticed this online somewhere. I won't be straight up and honest with you. It is definitely Asian. It's Chinese. You can tell by the way things are spelled, like V Nichols. That's definitely a pretty good indicator that it is Chinese, because most of the stuff you get from them is not spelled correctly. So we're going to try it out today. We're going to see if it works and see if it can lift our RMAX4 stretch. And this is all I'm really concerned about. I know it says in the instructions it's like a 4-ton thing, and I really not interested in lifting my truck. Now it says 4.3 tons on the bag itself, but I think the Amazon and the instructions said 4 tons. So we're gonna put this thing to use today and see if it'll lift the RMAX. This ought to be fun. This unit here, it almost looks like a little fire hose in a way. This plugs into the bag, and it's got a one-way valve on it, so that way it doesn't deflate after you inflate it. And this is the exhaust cone. Now it says that you can trim it. That's what the lines are for. I will not need a cone this big. There's no way it will work on the RMAX exhaust, so we're definitely gonna have to trim that up. So we're gonna trim it up a little bit and see how it works out, because this is all I'm really interested in using it for, just on my side-by-sides. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trim this cone up, and I'm gonna start up here. I know this is probably more than what I need, but I don't wanna cut it down too low and then I kinda ruin it. So let's start up here by this line. We're gonna see if this is the best way to cut this thing. I'm not sure. Some pretty thick rubber. Pretty robust stuff. Definitely looks like a beaver's chewing it off. It's not very crisp. Probably a better way to do this. Well, there we go. I mean, you could go around and clean that up a little bit once you get the size where you want it. All right, we're gonna check it out on the exhaust to see what we got. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that's not bad there. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you can push it on there and then it stays. That's actually pretty good, because there's no way it would have been longer, because right here it would have bottomed out. So that's pretty good. You push that on there and it just stays. All right, let's hook it up and see if she works. So you take your bag, and the way they have this whole deal set up is they've got like some felt pads, and you can put one on the ground if it's really rough, rocky conditions, so you don't cut the bag. And then you can put one on top of the bag for your vehicle, so that way if there's anything sharp under your vehicle, so you basically make a sandwich. You put your bag in between that. For this experiment right here, I don't think I need to worry about that. This here looks it really reminds me of a fire hose, the way it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this, see how it just screws in there, like so, and we turn it, and it'll go the whole way and lock in. All right, so now we got our bag kind of ready to go, really. Now we're gonna break it open and unfold it here. Here we go. We're gonna take this bag, we're gonna put it underneath here, and it's gonna go like this. The air valve will go out in front. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just start it up and have it start inflating and see what we need to do here. And I'm gonna put it in under the side and try and jack up the whole side of the unit, see how this thing works. I don't know. Ooh, you know what? It won't start if you have the exhaust blocked. Okay, well, there's your first lesson. All right. Well, this is an epic failure. It won't work. When you put it over the exhaust on the RMAX, it shuts off because it's probably some sort of override and it thinks something is wrong. So let's try it again. We're going to try this again. Maybe I need to get my hose opened up. Maybe the hose was... All right, well, lesson number one, this air jack will not work with a Yamaha RMAX4 stretch. So I'm pretty sure that all Yamahas probably have some sort of a built-in safety deal, so that way if the exhaust is blocked or clogged, it shuts it down because it thinks there's something wrong. All right, well, well, that test failed. Well, let's try a Commander. All right, y'all. It didn't work on the Yamaha RMAX, and we backed in our Can-Am Commander, and we're gonna see how this goes. Make sure there's no kinks in our line. I can't imagine that would stop it, but. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Wow. Well, it didn't shut off. And we have it going up slowly. It is slowly filling. Man, if you were in a hurry, this could take a while. Make sure all the air is getting through here. Doesn't look like it flows very good. It looks like you can't have any little kind of kinks in this hose at all. It really restricts it. It's going up, definitely blowing up. Let's put her underneath here in the middle and see what we got. It's tightening up. It's definitely getting tight. Do we got anything? Do we have liftoff? Well, so far, it did not get it up off the ground, and the bag is not fully inflated. Maybe we just need to wait longer. I'll tell you what, you better have some time on your hands if you want to use this off-road exhaust jack. Well, I don't know what to do here. It seems like it's almost at a standstill. And it says right on the bag, do not rev engine. Well, it says don't rev engine excessively. So maybe we need to give it a little bit of oomph, a little bit of assistance. I'm gonna sit a light on the back side of this tire so you can see when that tire comes off the ground, there'll be some light there. All right, let's give her a little gas and see if she'll jack up a little faster. Well, it looks like she's going up a little bit more with some assistance. Whoa. Well, she popped off the exhaust. Well, she's a little warm too. All right, let's put her back on there. All right, put her on a little better. Are we seeing any light through there yet? Nope, still touching. Well, it popped off again. All right, y'all. I think it's time to call it. I think the air jack the off-road air jack. It's kind of an epic piece of dog doo-doo. Well, there we go. That's our test. It keeps popping it off the exhaust on the back of the Commander. The exhaust tip here is pretty big on the Commander compared to the RMAX. It fits on there and stays on tight, but then it pops it off. So that tells me that, and we didn't get the tires off the ground. It didn't lift it off the ground. So the off-road jack is a piece of crap. And then it's a one-way valve, so we're gonna pop that right off of there just like that. All right, y'all, so my conclusion is don't get the off-road jack, the exhaust jack. It's a piece of crap. So we're back to just using regular jacks out on the trail. So I guess that's it. So there you go. Good information for you. This is a 100% real video. I did it on the spot. I kind of expected more from this jack. I really did, honestly. I've seen a couple videos where it jacked up a couple vehicles and stuff. So I don't know. But for us, it didn't work out. Let me know what your thoughts are and if you have one and if it works for you, or if you know somebody that has one and it works for them personally, not online, not on YouTube, not somebody that did a video. My video is 100%. It didn't work for me, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. So feel free to chime in. Let me know what you think. The cheap Chinese airbag jack does not work. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good one. Take care.